or welcome back to Nana's Cookery. I'm Gloria Donahue, and I'm happy to be with you today. I'm really happy to be making this recipe because it's a recipe I love, but I don't usually make it when my producer cameraman is around. I'm usually making it for a group, and he's not here, he's elsewhere. So today I decided the family was going to be here, and he was going to be here, and I could do the recipe. This is so easy. You can do it for so many people, and the great thing is you put it in the oven for 2 hours, do noodles and a green veggie, and you're done. There's nothing at the last minute, so it's wonderful. You can get it out of the way, and it's quick to put together, and it's called Swiss Steak Supreme. And there's a wonderful butcher I go to. It's called Joe's Market in Ardsley, Pennsylvania, not far from me. And they have really good meat, and they're really so helpful in what you're doing. I asked him for his flat iron and cut it in strips so that it could be easily picked up, etc. I love this recipe because it says put the meat in and overlap it. Yeah, right, like I'm going to take all this meat and overlap it. I'm just going to dump it. This is another case where I'm making more than the recipe calls for. I'm going to give you the instructions for a 3/4, a 13 by 9 pan. But in fact, I'm using a 4.5, 1.5 times that, because I'm doing it for a larger group. But I'm going to give you the directions for the 13 by 9 pan. Also, when you're doing something like this, it's hard to know how much you need in this regard. I ordered the food for my 50th high school reunion. I did all the desserts, but we bought everything else. And I told them 40 people, and they gave me food for 40 people. Well, they gave me food for 40 lumberjacks, I guess, or farmers, because we not only had it for lunch, we put it away, took it out again, and had it again for dinner. So the food that you cook, especially something like this, depends a lot on whether you're feeding hungry teenagers or young people or older people. So you have to sort of judge that, because I really don't eat, you wouldn't know it, but I don't eat as much as I did before. So I just dump this meat in, simple as that. And if you can get your butcher to cut it, like I got mine to cut mine, that took nothing. Now there's mushrooms. I could have bought sliced mushrooms. I didn't, because I find out sometimes the mushrooms are so large that even if they're sliced, I have to go through and cut them again. So it was easier just to buy them and cut them myself. For this recipe, for your size, the 13 by 9, it would be 2 pounds of meat in a buttered 13 by 9. And you would have 8 ounces of fresh mushroom sliced. You don't have to saute them, nothing. You just put them in. This is Lipton onion soup mix, and you would use 1 envelope. I'm going to use 1 envelope and a half because, again, I'm making a larger version of it. Let's see, so I sprinkle it with the soup mix. That's pretty simple. I'm going to take, well, not as simple as I thought. The funny thing is, I didn't open any can on this on television. If you've ever seen my recipe for banoffee pie, you'll know why. It took me about 15 minutes to open a can. And I said, I'll never do that again. I didn't know I'd have so much trouble opening this. So I'm going to use half of this. So that's going to be my onions. Now I'm going to put my mushrooms. And again, you're going to use 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. And I'm going to put, they call for a green pepper sliced. I don't like green pepper. It seems to me it takes over the whole flavor of the dish, so I rather have the colored peppers. When I was shopping today, I only found the red. If there'd been a yellow or orange, I would have gotten 1 of each, because that kind of makes a more interesting color. So you just, again, not sauteed or anything, just put right in there, and it gives it a nice color. So far you can see this is really easy. I did the peppers, but it only took me about 5 minutes to cut on the ends, empty them out, just cut them off into smaller pieces, and we're done with that. Now one can of, I use the petite cut diced tomatoes. But diced tomatoes of any type, a 16-ounce can is what you would use. I'm going to use 1.5 cans again. Now I put it through a strainer because we're going to use the juice. So these are the tomatoes, put in a strainer over a measuring cup, and now I'm going to put the tomatoes in there. And you know what? Just as simple to do it with your hands. Now see, you can see there's a lot of juice in the tomatoes. They're going to awaken that juice in the mushrooms and the onions. And we're almost done. We're going to mix A1 sauce. Are you familiar with, it's a typical steak sauce called A1 sauce. And this is cornstarch. So you would have a half a cup of the tomato liquid from your canned tomatoes. And you're going to mix that with, forgot my little whisk. Let's see, how much? A tablespoon of A1 sauce. So a tablespoon of cornstarch. Only I need, and so that is a tablespoon of A1 sauce, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Boy, I'm really falling down on the job here. Let's see. Okay, so now we mix the tablespoon and a half. That's very thick, that A1. And here's my, let's see, there's my half. And I'm going to mix that in. So we're going to get some juice in this, but then the cornstarch is going to help thicken it up a little bit. And I'm just going to stir this with a whisk until we get our mixture, until we get that cornstarch dissolved in there. Okay, I'm just going to pour this over. Yep, I'm going to pour it over. I'm going to cover it with foil, and I'm going to cook it for 2 hours, and I'll take it out. A simple thing of maybe noodles and green beans or something, and we're done. But meanwhile, when your company comes, there's no last minute thing to do with this. It's fine if it's done. Just turn off the oven and keep it warm. It isn't anything that will burn or get a hard crust on it or anything like that. It's a good waiting dish if you find everything's a little later than you thought. So we're going to cover it with foil. And again, bake it for 2 hours. Hi, our dish is out of the oven. Please don't tell my husband I forgot to put pepper in. So we'll do some now. And I'm going to put some fresh parsley on, which my husband grew in the garden. And that'll just give it a little more interesting color. Kind of wish I'd had yellow peppers today or orange, because I think it makes a nice change. We're going to put this over noodles, and as you can see, it's done. You just take it to the table. You're not doing anything at the last minute, so it really is a perfect dish for company. And I'd like to introduce you to the people who are going to eat it tonight. As I told you, my granddaughter Tracy and her husband Cliff and Courtney are away, so they're not with us. But pretty much the family is here. Other than that, I want you to meet my daughter, and her name is, you know her as Cooking Kath. That's Kathy Donahue Miller, and her husband Tom, if we can only get him in here. This is her husband Tom Miller, and their son Tom, who is my producer, director, and general nuisance. That's Tom Miller. Okay, hit the road. Now we need the Donahues. Here comes my son Craig, and his lovely wife Phyllis, my daughter-in-law, and their lovely daughter Paige, and their son Craig. And now you're going to meet the man who grew the parsley and likes the pepper. Come on in, Dan. This is the guy who does it all and takes me away on wonderful trips. So we thank you for visiting. We'd love to have you come. And we're so happy to be together tonight to share. And I wish the same for you. When you make good food, have someone to share it with. Bye-bye. Okay. What did you call